Welcome, this is Chris's video blog, and I'd like to talk about a topic that people are discussing nowadays. Should esports be considered as a sport or not? Some may say esports is just a game and never can be a sport. A true sport is something like soccer, basketball. Well, the others may give an evidence. Have you watched 2018 Indonesia Asian Games where esports was admitted as an official program? So what do you think? Esports, short for electronic sports, Wagner firstly argued, is an area of sport activities in which people develop and train mental or physical abilities in the use of information and communication technologies. But people question the legitimacy of defining esports in light of traditional sport, suggesting that whether esports is a sport or not is to some extent irrelevant for the academic discussion of esports. So, what's the difference between esports and traditional sport? Sports means all forms of physical activities which, through casual or organized participation, aim at expressing or improving physical fitness and mental well-being, forming social relationships or obtaining results in competition at all levels. Rogers argues that four factors should always be present in a sport: involve physical activity, be practiced for recreational purposes, involve an element of competition, have a framework of institutional organization, and Grattan and Taylor pointed out general acceptance as another important point for activity to be considered as a sport. Esports as a form of sport where the primary aspects of the sport are facilitated by electronic systems. The input of players and teams as well as the output of the esports system are mediated by human-computer interfaces. And esports describe the playing of video games competitively. The games themselves can vary in nature and include shooting, strategy, and sporting games, a relatively new form of sports. According to the definition of sport, esports cannot be a sport because it doesn't include any particular physical activity. But some governing bodies officially accept as sport other activities in which physical activity does not play a role either. For example, the German Olympic Sport Confederation accepted chess as a sport. In my opinion, esports and sport both have characteristics like competitive roles, organizational structures, but the core element of sport, physical activity, can't be clear. Esports don't have physical activities as well as traditional sport, but Hamfield noted that due to the nature of sport, an essential characteristic is physical prowess, and Highbatch pointed the girls' motor skills often present in sporting activities while fine motor skills involve precise movements with increased accuracy and control. We can say esports don't use large muscle groups but take the use of smaller muscle groups, which means esports do have physical activity, and I think esports can be considered as a sport.